Alright. We have just got everything set up. Can we give this a try as our first set? I don't know if we'll do the full ride, but it's just like an easy quick ride anyway. I'm not sure if the lighting will be like this either. And figuring out the audio is going to be a big deal. The reason the audio is going to be fun is because I don't know how well this, how much is capturing just noise from the bike versus from me. So again, this is an experiment to run. Plus I have like my Spotify on the background. I don't know how much that's going to come across versus the game, like Zwift. And it's going to be fun figuring out how to position the audio as well here, so I can talk into it correctly. And this whole setup's going to change pretty soon. I guess what I mean by the whole setup is my bike is not going to be in this position. It's going to be turned around the other way to make room for the treadmill. So yeah, again, anyway, this is a really easy ride. Just experimenting. Okay. I think my microphone is definitely capturing a lot of the cranking noise from the chains. Probably have to increase the volume and decrease the gain. Welcome. Is that you, Marathi Marath, or Marta? I don't know. Again, this is a huge test. I don't have the light on, so I don't know how well it's even like capturing the me. If I turn the light on, it changes the blue in the background, so I'm gonna be experimenting with that a little bit. And again, we probably will not do this whole ride. I'm more interested in getting the setup, more so than figuring out doing the whole exercise today. If someone is in the chat, just send a shout out of how much the audio is picking up versus like the chain crank and stuff. I am a little bit far away to adjust my gain from here. I've got some more equipment coming in the mail that will help me adjust from the bike. I know it's picking up though. I see the light. But that is okay. So we're here to test. Also, I need to really change the overlay. Let's see, my picture is okay there in the camera. The logo might go in the bottom left, just above the heart rate. Oh, let's see if we can change some of that. You're gonna see all this. Automatically hide the taskbar. Yes, please. Did that not hide it? Oh, not tablet mode. I can actually change some of this elements here too. Right about there. picture for this. Not too bad. I'm debating too, like setting up the green screen might give some more visibility, but I wish I could digitally adjust my audio capture here. I know it's getting sound. I think the only way to change that is changing the gain. Over this warm up. Well, actually, the warm up is a good time to pause. I just have a hard time stopping when I'm biking. Hey, welcome. Trying to figure out the audio settings and get everything like a little bit dialed in here. Not sure about the light as well. Here in a few minutes I'm going to turn the light on so I can contrast that in the recording. And when I turn the light on, I'll practice with the gain as well of the mic. But this is somewhat what it'll look like. If you are in the chat and have access to your keyboard, how bad is the sound of the bike over like my voice and the music, audio, etc.? Oh, my playlist is going to run out soon too. It's just a test playlist, just a test ride, test everything. Just doing easy watts right now. See, the light right behind my head, even though it's blue, and see, it's not, the camera's not positioned in a good spot anyway to capture kind of the background. So I think it's better to just focus on doing the foreground light. And I'm gonna have to figure out if the snow leopard picture is even gonna be part of the thing. I might incorporate it in as a green screen because I'm gonna have to change the orientation of the whole setup. Here in a little bit, I'm going to get the treadmill up here, do the treadmill workouts, and my bike's going to have to switch, face the opposite direction of the room. I'm going to put my TV on that wall to view things, and the camera over on that wall too. Almost done with the warm up here. Okay, with 1 minute left, we'll pause it. Not the stream, just the workout. Jump off, turn on the light. Turn on the light and adjust our gain a little. It's hard to do that live. I wonder if I could get my mixer over here a little closer. I could reach it if it was right here, yeah. That's alright. We'll get it. 6 now. I did figure out today, at least I'm hoping, to be able to stream the Spotify while not having it included in the recording, which was a big win considering I'm a audio novice. I have the Streamlabs recording a different track than it's streaming. Oh, we're at a minute. Okay. Taking it on that. Oh, let's okay, pause. This will be a quick pause. I think that's better. Sorry for me to tell this from not listening to it. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. Manage my dashboard. Wattage just went up a little. It's got to do an ad first. I am just looking at my phone what the stream's looking like. I think I like the light a little better on. It probably gives more clarity to the video here. And I think adjusting the gain worked. Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. I'm not sure if I'm hearing the background. I don't think there's any... Oh, I think my background music turned off. Change. All right, here we go. I might have to change the face position. There we go. Audio. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I loud enough? Not loud enough. Testing loud enough? Not peaking? It's definitely better. This is harder to adjust stuff than it looks. Well, 140 watts is not a lot. For me it might be because I'm out of shape. But it's harder than it looks to adjust everything. Alright, what was I going to do next? I was going to change the position of the camera. No, not the whole game. Oh man, that fine motor skill, moving things left-handed. Sorry if this is giving you a headache. Please forgive me. All right. that might be better. You see the heart rate and the power metrics. Testing if it can hear my breath. Yeah, it can. I think it's still better than it was. I don't want it to catch up too much of the breathing, but balancing the audio here is going to be really tricky with the loud kicker in the background. We're going downhill, aren't we? Yeah. No, we're going uphill, just at the low watts. Okay. Oh, and I don't have my towel. New mistake. It's alright. In second, I will say what you be. So, the end goal with some of this is you can be able to see the workout here on the screen. Be able to track along with me. I'm also going to release the file of the workout. So if people have Zwift or an applicable program, they can use that to do the workout for themselves, like automatically on a smart trainer. I'm guessing the vast majority of people will not have a smart trainer. So a lot of it will do off of like perceived effort. And then it tells you like a cadence to be into. So you want to be around 90 to 100 RPM. In fact, I should get a cadence sensor so we can track that. I've always just done it by feel. But anyway, so I might have like this stuff to go over like a specific workout. Everyone else might not have the same luxury. So what we'll do is set things up where, like, if you're on a spin bike or a recumbent bike at your gym, or some other any kind of bike that you have access to, or even like a Peloton at the gym. Pelotons are nice because you can adjust power and wattage and stuff. That you can use like your spin bike knob to kind of maintain consistent with the workout, have increased resistance, decreased resistance at the points necessary. And try to give advice and encouragement as we go, how to maintain and stay within a perceived effort. So there's a few different training metrics that people use. Heart rate is one of them. Like, I've got my heart rate monitor on there. I'm currently doing around 120 beats per minute, which for me is still pretty low. We're at the low end of kind of my cardiovascular heart rate potential. Saying that on a bike, your heart rate will almost always be about 10 beats, 15 beats per minute lower than the equivalent effort on a run. That's just kind of natural. Anyway, heart rate is one of those measures that we can use if you have a heart rate monitor. Be able to use that to determine your work effort. And we'll be doing some videos on how to calibrate that so you can know what your heart rate zones are, and that's enabling you to work out in the correct zone. If you do not have a heart rate monitor, then you can just go off perceived effort. Perceived effort for me right now is, I can still talk, it's difficult, but this is like a good operating cardio zone where you're still able to speak, but you are putting forward effort. So this is a good way to know, like, and I know based on my heart rate there too, that I'm still in my, aerobic zone, as opposed to anaerobic. Once you get in the anaerobic zone, that's when you're gonna be really burning matches and not putting yourself in a position to be successful over a sustained effort. Might be good for sprints, but for long-term cardio, probably not going to find the benefit that you need. So those are the two primary metrics that you can use to follow along with the workout. Is either heart rate or perceived effort. I think is going to be the vast majority. And to adjust perceived effort, like if you're on a spin bike, etc. is there's resistance knobs, or on a recumbent bike, there's resistance that you can input in the system, change things. So there will be an opportunity to track the workout even if you don't have Zwift as a program or a power meter. If you have a power meter, if you do have Zwift, one thing that we'll incorporate shortly is the opportunity to group rides. That's one of the cool things with Zwift. So there's group rides and races. I'm on my rest here. The races are fun. The advantage of that is everyone will probably beat me. I'm not a great cyclist racer, especially if I found in the Zwift. There's right now, I think at my peak in this workout, I'm doing 2 watts per kilogram, which isn't very much. Again, I need to build up my cycling shape too, but also we'll do like group rides. Group rides are fun because they don't drop any of the riders. So even if people are working at different perceived or measured efforts in the program, they still stay together as a group. Anyway, that's all dependent upon who has like the Zwift app or not, which will not be required to watch and participate. I plan on also doing a bunch of video series on how to calibrate various bikes or spin bikes so that you can try to see what model of bike that you're using at your local gym or one that you personally own. And you can use the settings. I'll give some video instruction on settings on how to join in virtually using that bike, and again making adjustments so that the Zwift program is not a requirement, that you're able to use your own equipment to join in on the ride. Another update that we're going to have, I've been working on creating, is a Discord channel. I know that it's hard to type in the chat as is if you are doing a workout. Like, I mean, I could text something right now, but that'd be a little bit tough, and I can't anticipate that everyone will have the ability to write out text messages or messages in the chat. So we're going to set up a Discord channel for everyone, so that way if you have like a headphones, you can jump into that Discord, and I'm going to have to work around with some of the settings so there's not like an abundance of noise or feedback. But my thought is that there's like a Discord channel for like subscribers and stuff that we can all communicate to each other via that, eliminating the need for using a keyboard and such. My guy's going so slow up this hill. 140 watts isn't very much uphill like this. You see there in the right where it says D-Berry, Salt Lake City Tri Club. So right now, this workout is really designed as a beginner workout, which is wonderful. 140 watts for me is about 2 watts per kilogram. Now, of course, that means that everyone can go on and try to calculate what my weight is. But 2 watts per kilogram is, if you're unfamiliar with like the cycling, I'll talk a lot about power metrics and how those are used in determining where you're at, and also it's a very useful tool for training. Most of my workouts will all be based on power. So while heart rate is something I use a lot more for running as being kind of a pure cardio sport, power is kind of the gold standard of cycling. So where I'm doing right now, 2.1 watts per kilogram, and it's pretty reflective of my heart rate being pretty low. I mean, I'm sweating, like this is a good workout, but this is nowhere near kind of like race effort. You can even see like the color blue highlighting the 4 minutes for 140 watts in the top left there. That just means that this is in like my zone 2. Zone 2 or zone 3 of effort. Again, still very aerobic. Put it in perspective, professional cyclists are going to be hitting average. I mean, like, not even their peak output, but average. I like 9 watts per kilogram, something huge. I read a chart once based on what people's kind of ranking are. I'm like in the low ranking. In all things considered, like, I work hard. I'm a much better runner than cyclist. Much better runner than cyclist. And that's okay. I think the key goal with anything that you're doing with your workouts is you're working towards improving yourself. It's way more important than where you compare. I think a big trap that we fall into with exercising, setting goals, etc. is, I don't know, first off, we set incorrect goals, but also we worry about where we are in comparison with someone else, which isn't fair to yourself. I could be out of shape and run a decent half marathon, and that might be different to someone else who's out of shape and can't run a half marathon at all. I mean, that's totally fine. There's different. You should benchmark against yourself. I think you'll find a lot more joy in your workouts and your experience if your primary goal is centered around staying healthy and fit, more so than, I don't know, even like racing. You race yourself, not the competition sometimes. Unless you're like a professional, which most of us aren't. I've done some of my best races when I try to just train and push to my own potential rather than worry about what my competition is doing. Push to your competition, you burn yourself out or what have you. Another, I feel like, common trap we find ourselves in is setting our fitness goals based around like weight loss or something, which is fine. It's good to, want to stay healthy for a reason like that. But the issue becomes where you're working out, and you're not losing weight, or you're not seeing gains or progress in your goal because it's not always precisely in your control. And then you become discouraged, and then you're not going to work out anymore. If you're not seeing like weight loss gains, you lose motivation. So I've always thought that it's better to learn how to find joy in the activity than it is to be shooting for some goal like that may or may not be initially achieved. And then, as you are working hard and staying fit, oftentimes other things like weight loss and subsidiary goals will become realized as a byproduct. Anyway, here we're getting in to about, how long was this ride? 50 minutes? So we're about a little over halfway. Maybe we'll just finish it out. It's just a short ride. Oh. This is thing blocking my face completely. Maybe change the camera angle. I'll have to like play around with all of that. Make sure we have something that's looks good, sounds good, feels good. Definitely been a while since I've been cycling. We're gonna do a spot test on the Twitch app. See how we're feeling here. Oh, I got to get my RPMs up. Sometimes that's one thing is like I changed my focus for just a minute there and checked my phone, and I lose focus on my cycling. It's It's amazing how much some of these are truly like a mental effort. I didn't want to, kind of lost on my RPMs there for a minute. Okay, there we go. The audio still looks good. Sounds good. But yeah, I want to keep here around 90 to 100 RPMs. How can I explain why RPMs are important? It's all about kind of like physics and torque. The more RPMs you're doing, kind of like you're doing the same amount of power, but you're, oh man, I'll have to like research my physics. You're going faster, so it almost feels like you're doing less. You're just doing more rotations. So the watts feel easier. And in this case where we're doing just like a standard ride, it's a really good rule of thumb to be in the 90 to 100 RPM zone. It's just a general flat cycling zone. If you're cycling on the flat, 90 to 100 RPMs is really good range to be. Those RPMs are going to probably become much lower when you're like going uphill. So like when we work out, we can do the same power, 140 watts, but do much less RPMs, maybe like 70 to 80 RPMs. More of like a slog. It kind of looks like this. I just slowed down my RPMs a little. Now it feels like I'm pushing more effort through the pedals. It's actually the same, just a lower speed. But it's much more analogous to how like a hill workout feels. So that's how we'll simulate hill workouts, by lowering RPMs. It trains your muscles to kind of transition to more like raw power, building up strength. Whereas like the high RPMs, the flat ground simulation is more building up like your cardio base and your long term or your endurance cycling. I need to get a towel. I have neither fan nor towel in my favor right now, and I'm feeling it. Rest zone. Let's keep my rest even at 90 again. I think I need to raise the camera. So my camera is at the same level as I stream at. And raise the camera to eye level next time, so that it captures things a little better. Again, for an experiment though, all is going well. Make sure you drink some water. I'll be exercising. I will forget a lot of things. I'll forget a towel. I'll forget a fan. Try not to forget water. I've done it before. It's not a good idea. I need to do some calibration on my bike too. I've done all the maintenance on my bike. Replaced the chain, which is a good idea, keeping it well oiled and such. But I think the back wheel might be a little bit out of true. I'm gonna have to Google and figure out how to do that. That'll be some stuff I might try to do too, is record some tutorials on bike maintenance. For some reason I've never felt as comfortable in the drops. For those of you who are not familiar with like a bike anatomy here, so here's like the hoods, here's my arrows, which I have clip-on arrows. So this is a road bike that I've transitioned into my triathlon bike, and these are the drops. My character in the Zwift game, he'll switch between the drops and the hoods. Right now he's on the hoods. When he goes downhill, or he's going really fast, let's see if we can get into the drops. There he goes. Once he senses that you're like really pushing, he'll go into the drops. a guy left of us. He's on his tri-bike. You can put a tri-bike in the game. I just stay on the road bike. The bike that you use in the game actually changes like your speed and hill ability. So I like to stay on this road bike because it's good for the hills. And I think in the game I'm using like the same bike as I have in real life. So that's why I've kept that one. The triathlon bike is better for riding solo technically. Like if we were on a tri-bike right now in the game, the guy would actually be going faster. But meh, it's not really necessary. The tri-bike, it allows for more aerodynamics because, again, as you see that guy ahead of us, is kind of in this position, which is a lot more tucked, aerodynamic, and better for speed. The game also takes into account like drafting, so I can't change my power because it's a set training program. So unfortunately, again, I can't adjust it. But if I was doing like a free ride, I could potentially here put in some effort and try to catch up to that guy and just draft behind him. And drafting in the game simulates just as in real life, like takes less power for the same speed, etc. I'm really curious to see how this video turns out. You can just see the sweat dripping down my face. I think it might be too small, which is fine with me. We'll keep it small. I usually have a towel draped over my handlebars here for indoor cycling without any wind going by you or a fan or something. It's brutal. Whew. I think this is our last set and then we have just a cool down. Yeah. I almost kind of wish right now, I wish I could do a little more. I've been cycling so long, it feels good. Here sometime soon I want to record and do the fit test. So the fit test is a brutal workout. I guarantee you I will not be talking much there. We'll support each other, the moral support, and endure the pain together. But the fit test is important because it gives you your baseline in power and heart rate. So basically it's usually like an hour ride, maybe 40 minutes depending on how you set it up. I'll plan on doing the hour run. You do a warm up, you do some spikes, like a power in your power, so we'll like do power up into like the red, 160 watts for 180 watts for just like 15 seconds. Gonna get your legs warmed up. And then what you'll do is once you're warmed up, you do a 20-minute, as hard as you can, sustained effort. And you don't want to go overboard. I mean, you don't want to be like red power and then like kind of dip down and die at the end. You want it to be as consistent as possible and see how much effort you can sustain over that 20 minutes. And the average power of that 20 minutes is kind of your FIT, your functional threshold power, FTP, functional threshold power. And that gives you certain percentages. So it takes that number that you do for 20 minutes, and if you times it by 0.8, that is the estimated amount of effort you could sustain for an hour. It's a very useful metric to base your training off of. So like this current workout, where I'm doing 140 watts to 100 watts, is based on my FTP from a long time ago, like a year and a half ago, when I was in shape. So my current FTP might even be lower than this. I found though that I have a really tight FTP window. What I mean by that is, I don't know if it's just something about me, but I can do pretty decent FTP, but I can't do more. Like it's like one more watt over my FTP and I just fall apart. So for example, I could do like maybe 150 watts, or I don't know what my FTP would be right now, but let's say 160 watts for 20 minutes. If I do like 162 watts, I just die, blow up, can't handle it. And I've never, I mean, it might be just because I don't weigh very much, and so I have like such a tight range. but haven't figured it out. Can't even see. Sweating into my eyes here. 10-minute cooldown. It'll be kind of boring, but we'll do it. Always do your cooldowns. Sorry, I'll retract that statement of it being boring. Cooldowns, I'm saying that strictly in the thought that I am kind of doing this ride as a test ride and would almost rather kind of test the audio than do a cooldown, but especially like right now in my current shape, the cooldown is going to be so critical to make sure that your legs are kind of recycling the lactic acid that they built up through the workout. They're staying warm, but not getting stiff. So doing your cooldowns will help reduce injury, and your warm-ups, obviously. Reduces injury, it reduces soreness and stiffness afterwards, increases your recovery time. So it really is important that you're putting in that time to do a proper cooldown. I'm gonna have to get my cycling posture back. I need to do like a proper bike fit, but it's something that will get done eventually here. I feel like my pop filter's a little bit off. It's probably good enough, but a little off. Cool. Well, as far as recording like this, I'll try to post this ride onto YouTube. This is my inaugural ride for my streaming venture here. I'm going to try to develop more of a content and curriculum that we'll be discussing and talking about. A lot of topics might recycle based on what's going on in the chat, etc. Today, it's just been fun to just ride again. Kind of get used to how the setup is going to be. Kind of get a feel for doing a talking and voiceover on the ride. We'll have some variance, obviously, when doing more difficult rides or having variability there. I also plan on doing some runs. I don't know if you can see, but this here is a treadmill. At least it's the upper half of one. I'm recruiting some friends to bring the belt up. That belt is 280 pounds or something. And we're going to fit this treadmill in here and cycle not pun not intended, between doing some runs, live streamed, as well as some bikes. We'll do some brick runs, kind of a overall holistic workout approach, kind of the same training I would do in my triathlons. Just going to plan on doing a lot of it indoors and sharing it with you all, and kind of seeing how the journey goes together. It's been something I'm excited to try out and venture forth and figure I'm going to be working out anyway, so why not share it? A lot of what we'll do is share some of my experiences in training, some experience in racing, things I've learned along the way that hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and become a better athlete in whatever context of your goals are, whatever area you want to improve, change, adjust, kind of help get you there. Minus the swimming in the context of triathlon. I realize that a lot might not be triathletes, but if you are, swimming is not only something I don't really have the equipment to produce, but also the skill. I am a horrible swimmer, and yes, I actually mean that. Everyone's like, oh, you're not that bad of a swimmer. I'm actually a horrible swimmer. So I'm a good runner. I'll just admit, comparatively, and there'll be a lot of you that are better than me, but I've ran, I think my half marathon PR is 6:30s, 6:37 minutes per mile, which equates to like a 1:34 hour 34-minute marathon, half marathon. Marathon, I wish. But swimming, everyone's like, dang, you're not that bad. Yeah, I am. I've seen my friends in the tri club, doing 1 minute 100s. I can not do that. I average about 2-minute 100s, which if you're not familiar with swimming, it's pretty poor. Now, one thing I am good at is just going forever. I can swim a long time. I've done still a few half marathons. Haven't done the half Ironmans. Haven't done the full Ironman yet, but I think I've done the distance in swimming. I feel very comfortable swimming. I'm a comfortable swimmer, if not a good one. So, don't have much coaching or advice there. I've watched a lot of videos. I've tried to improve my form. I really need to get a coach. That's on my goal list. When I start to just finish my MBA, and so it hasn't been a high priority training, specifically learning the swimming improvement skills, but moving forward, I think that's something that I might pursue now that I have a little bit more bandwidth in my time. Here we go, 4 minutes left. If you're working out with this or watching it on the YouTube video on demand, make sure you're trying to, and I'll do a lot on like body checks. Again, this time I was focused more on stream checks, but it's a good time to do a body check, kind of see how your legs are feeling. If you feel any like tightness or soreness, it's good to be aware of that so you can work it out after in like a stretches. I'll do a video for good stretches as well, but I have not created that as of yet. But I notice here for myself, like my heart rate is starting to go down. It's creeping. It's been creeping steadily down during this cool down phase. It'll probably stay here around 109, 108. If I focus really hard, I can push it down, and if I don't talk, it'll push it down. See, if I don't talk for a second, I think I can get it like 107. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to talk. There we go. Hit 107, 106. Talking takes actually like 3 beats per minute effort, as you can see. But yeah, do a body check. I feel like a little tightness right here in my left calf, just slightly. Not anything to be worried about. More just because my body's not. It's trying to remember how to cycle. Yeah, kind of get your heart rate under control. Feel where you're at. Like, really think on just staying a steady, smooth effort to finish with. Get your breath back. I like to do a few deep breaths at the end, just to really kind of recenter myself and get my lungs back in feeling well, so that I can stop my ride almost feeling better than when I started, especially for a simple, very smooth workout like this, where we're not doing a bunch of spiking intervals. Just want to feel really comfortable. My heart rate is good. My breathing is good. Lactate is recycling. Just feeling good. Feeling really good. Ready to jump off, take a shower, and do whatever for the rest of the day. I'm still going to maintain my RPMs, focusing on kind of, my RPMs might have slowed down a little bit. I'll need to get a cadence sensor, but I might be at about 85, 90 here. I want to maintain that RPM, just staying really smooth in my cycling form. We'll talk about too, like how to point the toes, or not point them, rather. Kind of correct cycling form, how to do a sizing of your bike. Some of those things I'm not an expert on, but I have read a lot and know enough to give some good generalized advice. How to feel good on the bike. Here we go. It's cooling down another minute, 30 seconds. I don't know about any of you, I just like the aero bars. When I first got these, I feel like I was gonna die. They're so scary. You kind of get comfortable with them though. It's just a really comfortable position to be on. And for any of you that are like expert bike fitters, don't judge me too much. I've done all of my bike stuff on my own. I do plan on getting expertly fitted. I don't think I'm in the correct total posture, but so give me a thumbs down if you want for it, but I'm going to be working on it. But even without that professional fitting, just feels so comfortable on the arrows. For all of you that are doing casual cycling or don't own a bike at all, I wouldn't worry about it. Obviously. Okay. My heart rate's maintained consistency, getting lower. I'm hitting here around 105 here at the end, which is great. I'm just kind of coasting into the end of the ride here. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinky 1, 0. Oh, just kind of feel the stretch in your legs. If you're on a smart trainer bike, always remember to don't push the brakes. Let the bike come to a stop naturally, and you'll be good to go. Well, there we go. Thanks everybody for joining me on my inaugural bike ride here. There's much more to follow. I plan on doing a lot more rides, again having some curriculum and giving some advice based on what your personalized goals are. So stay tuned for a lot more content coming out, both live and on video on demand, and I'm excited to share this journey with you and get better as we go with a lot of the setup equipment. I'll take any feedback that anyone wants to give me and make this an enjoyable experience for myself as well as for everyone that's going to be viewing and joining us in our virtual spin class, as it were. So thanks for joining on Uncia 14 TV, which we'll talk about the origin of that name as well, but no spoilers right now. Anyway, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Cheers. Bye.